When it comes to getting around in rural areas, many people mistakenly believe that a non-negotiable part of rural life is driving long distances for every single trip, and that the resulting cost, time, inconvenience, and pollution is just a fact of life. These assumptions produce a cycle that perpetuates itself. State and federal policymakers decide that the only transportation investments that rural areas need are new highways, which leads to longer and longer trips for rural residents. Today, those residents are driving further to accomplish less. In 2017, on average, rural residents travel more than twice the distance for health care than urban residents. But all of this is deeply out of touch with the reality of life in rural America, where more than 1 million households don't even have access to a vehicle. And people who live relatively close to the thousands of small downtowns that anchor rural America actually drive shorter distances than their counterparts in the suburbs. Americans in rural areas and smaller towns also need safe, convenient transportation options to get to where they need to go each day. Complete streets can help preserve the unique character of these places while ensuring that rural residents can get where they need to go safely, efficiently, and affordably. One in 5 individuals live in rural America. While rural areas are less diverse than big cities and metro areas, overall they are still more diverse than many think. 54% of the nation's American Indian and Alaska Native population resides in rural or small town areas, and they're growing more diverse. Between 2012 and 2019, the rural Black, Asian, and Hispanic workforces all grew in rural areas. Rural Americans are also older on average. A lack of other transportation options is leaving these people stuck and stranded in unhealthy ways. Older adults who no longer drive make significantly fewer trips to shop, eat out, or visit friends and family, leaving them isolated and disconnected. Safe, complete streets are a vital part of ensuring that rural residents of all ages can access what they need each day. Complete streets in rural areas will look far different compared to busier urban areas, and considering there are at least half a dozen archetypes of rural communities, they will definitely look different from place to place. In areas with incredibly low traffic counts on local streets, bigger city bike infrastructure may be unnecessary. In some places, it could mean adding shoulders to highways as a cost-effective way to make biking or walking possible. In extremely remote communities that live with snow more than half the year, it might mean accommodating personal snow vehicles and making land use decisions to keep daily needs as close together as possible. In other places, this can mean well-designed greenways, trails, or shared-use paths separated from traffic and connected to nature, which is often also a major driver of tourism in rural gateway communities. And in places that have a town center of some kind, complete streets can help restore a focus on that economic center and the people who rely on it, instead of prioritizing the needs of people merely passing through. Main streets shouldn't be highways to carry people through communities. They should be arteries that bring people to a community. Small downtowns and rural town centers should drive economic development for their counties and surrounding areas, generating a large, prosperous tax base in a very small area. Making these places walkable, safe, and connected is one way to get there. As one example, Irwin, a small mountain town of about 6,000 people in eastern Tennessee, widened the sidewalks of their main street, put in new lighting, and worked with the university art department to create and install beautiful colored patterns to signal to drivers to slow down and recognize they're entering a place. Whatever its size, nearly every rural town like this was originally built on a system of sidewalks, crosswalks, and streets to serve local travel and the people who live and work nearby. Building complete streets in rural places can mean getting back to their roots and understanding a community's history as residents decide what kind of place they aspire to be tomorrow. Whatever form they take, building complete streets to serve everyone can help preserve the unique character of these places, build sustainable local economies, and help rural residents get where they need to go safely, efficiently, and affordably.